side, this is the way they line up in formation. Pat Richards at fullback, the three-quarter lines, Mark Calderwood, Daryl Goulding, David Wielicki and Liam Colbon, Trent Barrett and Thomas Luluai. On the bench, Palliasina, Millard and Fletcher. Hock, Bailey and O'Loughlin, who is the skipper. They're the forwards, and the interchange bench. Stuart Fielden's there for the first time on the subs bench for 3 years, alongside Mickey Hyam, Paul Prescott and Harrison Hansen. The coach is Brian Noble. Now the Giants from Huddersfield. Chris Thorman is their fullback and captain. Gardner, Elford, Nero and Jensen, Brown and Robbie Paul. Forwards Mason, Hudson, Griffin, Lolisi, Raleigh and Wild. And the bench here, Crabtree, Scandalis, Jones and Tom Hemingway. The coach is John Sharp. There's no Brad Drew. Sadly, Brad Drew is 12,000 miles away in Australia. One of his close members of the family is seriously ill, and Brad Drew has been allowed to go to the other side of the world on compassionate grounds. Pitch perfect. This is Premiership soccer ground, of course, on alternate weeks with the Wigan Warriors at certain times of the year, and the new Premiership season's about to swing into action. And the pitch, Steve-O and I have walked on it tonight. It is absolutely magnificent. It really is. There's the Huddersfield skipper, Chris Thorman, making his 160th appearance for the Giants as Wigan emerge from the dressing room. And Brian Noble has certainly shuffled things around this week. Daryl Goulding gets a chance at centre. Liam Colbon keeps his place on the wing. Mark Calderwood returns. Phil Bailey moves into the second row. Fletcher goes to prop forward. Stuart Fielden on the bench. Interesting. I wonder how it will all pan out for the Wigan Warriors here tonight, because there's no doubting they have been off the pace for the past month.
Certainly have, and I'm sure that Brian Noble has been drilling into the minds of his players, because look at this fantastic crowd. You know, for the last 2 seasons the Warriors have been struggling, and they have not failed to support them of this wonderful cherry and white crowd. Big night for this man Steve Ganson. Let's hope we get plenty of space between the two sides, because I must say the pitch is in immaculate condition. It is just like a bowling green, a carpet. It is wonderful, and I'm sure that both sides will display skills to match.
Steve Ganson blows the whistle then. We're underway, courtesy of the big high kick-off from Chris Thorman. And here comes the first drive of the night from Brian Fletcher, met by some vigorous defence 9 metres from his own try line. Wigan with first use of the football. Becca Palliasina trying to drive it further forward, but being forced back by the Huddersfield defence yet again. Good chasing from the men in the purple jerseys tonight. It was Daryl Griffin who was leading the way.
Well, you can see straight away there that the reason why Brian Noble has thrown in Shane Millard to start this game, he wants the experience. He wants to make sure that he controls in and around the ruck so he can make sure the forwards get over that advantage line. It's something that they've had a problem with Wigan of late.
The kick downfield, and Thorman wisely traps it with the boot before running it back. And the chase is led by the man who's been restored to the side tonight, Shane Millard. This now is Matt Gardner. Good harassing again from Wigan this time. Ryan Hudson shoots into dummy half for Huddersfield. Here is Andy Raleigh. What about getting the pass away to Kevin Brown? Thought the better of it. Hudson again. Down the short side, Ryan Hudson.
Good play as well from the hooker there. You can see they're a little bit slow there, Wigan.
Taking a piggyback on the back of Hudson as he tried to get up and play the ball, leaving Mr. Ganson with no alternative, really.
Yeah, and he knew it as well. You could see the disgust written all over his face. He's been around too long to do a silly thing like that, and Brian Noble knows it too well. Hasn't paid his faith in the coach as yet.
Kevin Brown restarts, ball inside to Keith Mason. Kevin Brown wearing number 4, one of 3 former Wiganers in this side tonight. Stephen Wild is the loose forward. Stuart Jones is on the bench. And they are looking for a huge performance This is Hudson. Now it's with Robbie Paul. A bit of a misunderstanding between Jamal Lulisi and Shane Elford, getting in each other's way.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be the dummy runner. You can see there that Jamal Lulisi just put his hand out. He wasn't going to get it. A little bit of misunderstanding there. Given the opportunity for Wigan to try to just ease their way up. No, they won't panic. I'm sure that's got to be in their schedule today, Phil.
I think it is, yes. Of course, they need some control. I mean, last week, it's very hard to win a game of rugby league when your forwards are beaten up when they've got the ball and broken down when they don't have it. And that was the case for last week when Warrington just demolished the Wigan side in the middle. Hence the reason why players like Fletcher and Palliasina wanting to get on the front foot and provide that quick play the ball for their teammates.
Well, he was trying to do that, but Darryl Griffin was all over the back of him, as you can see. Palliasina trying to get up, play the ball. Referee's whistle goes again. So consistency from Mr. Ganson, no messing around at the play of the ball, and that John Keir is all we can hope for.
Yes, it is, and it's rather interesting, you know, one penalty apiece. Huddersfield bombed their opportunity, but it was interesting they were looking to really attack Tommy Luai. They've got two runners running there, sending numbers at him, and it'll be very interesting with Wigan having good ball to see what tactic that Brian Noble's got in store for us.
Gareth Hock takes a ferocious challenge. Keith Mason was leading the way there. Here now is Sean O'Loughlin, the Wigan skipper. Wrestled to the ground on the 20-metre line, the end of tackle number 3. It's Shane Millard, and now it's Trent Barrett. Barrett then to Luluai. Luluai trying to skip his way through. Raleigh was the last line of defence. Nearly got through Stephen Wild. It comes back again to Barrett. Barrett then fires the pass to O'Loughlin. They come wide to Violicki, and Violicki gets to within a metre or so of the line on the last tackle, this set of 6. Ball comes back to Barrett, inevitably. The crossfield kick from Barrett. 2 Wiganers after it. The ball has bounced. It's a try here for Liam Colborne, for Darryl Goulding.
He'll go to the screen. He didn't have a good view of it there, Steve Ganson. The Wigan fans don't like it. They think that it's absolutely fair and square. It'll go to the video ref Ian Smith. It was a beautifully placed kick. Trent Barrett, they're all on side. That's fine by the official. They'll jog it on. Pinpoint accuracy here, and it created all sorts of trouble. Plenty of height. They are in a lot of trouble allowing this down. Let's see it here. Certainly Matt Gardner's got fingertips to it, and this will be the try for Darryl Goulding. He has repaid the faith from his coach Brian Noble, and I don't think we'll get anything other than the TRY on the big screen.
It was a flat by Matt Gardner at the ball from Barrett. High kick out wide from Trent Barrett and Darryl Goulding. His first start of Super League 12. Does he get the first try of the match? Yes, he does. Wigan take an early lead. Darryl Goulding, 19 years of age, 4 tries in his last 2 matches, but all of those games, of course, lost. This is the opening try scorer tonight, and 19-year-old Darryl Goulding gives Wigan the perfect start.
It's all about having quality in your team, and when you point the finger at Trent Barrett, he's not just a magician with ball in hand, but he can get a good kick away as well. Plenty of height. Total confusion out there. Chris Nero, he was more intent to try to block the passage of someone trying to go to it. And when Gardner got fingertips to it, the youngster Goulding snatches the first 4 of the match.
Richards to add the extras, which he does. On this, his 50th Wigan appearance, Pat Richards. And Wigan Warriors are ahead by 6 points to 0. Goulding, the try scorer.
You've got to take your chances, and that is what Brian Noble has given this youngster. There's the man who kicked the football. He's had a tremendous season. There'll be no panic through the mind of John Sharp, though. He's a cool customer. He knows they blew their opportunity. Wigan didn't.
But John Sharp will be slightly concerned, John Keir, at the way that Huddersfield tried to deal with that crossfield kick.
Yeah, I'll be very disappointed because Chris Nero actually he did a pretty good job buying a bit of time for for Matt Gardner, but he made a total mess of it, and obviously Goulding took full advantage of it. But it might be once again a great opportunity for the Giants.
Yes, the ball was lost by Wigan in the tackle, and then it was knocked on, I think, by Wigan, and it's going to be head and feed to Huddersfield here. It was a one-on-one steal attempted as well. Fletcher loses the ball here. It comes out. Huddersfield first to react. Griffin gets it. And then of course, he's not tackled, so Millard comes in, nicks the ball, but nicks it with a knock-on. Here is Thorman for the Giants, 10 metres away.
The one thing the Giants do work a lot is that short blind side. Will they do it again? No, they've come on that open.
Griffin will take the ball up. Leads ahead 4-0 after 5 minutes at Headingley Carnegie. This is Hudson. He finds Brown. Brown will come back at the middle. Former Wigan starlet, of course, is Kevin Brown. And now it's with Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul to Thorman, who was waiting for that. And the pass to Elford.
Pretty flat pass as well to the centre. Shane Elford is in fine form, but really they needed a dummy runner coming back at the angle. It didn't confuse the defence, which is pretty solid, especially from Brian Fletcher. That was a big hit.
That run from Hudson didn't certainly confuse him. The kick to the corner from the captain Thorman, and it's knocked dead by Calderwood, and Huddersfield will get another set of 6 here.
Good kick, didn't want to take any gambles. That's the best thing to do. Trying to take it on your fingertips is a no-no. And Calderwood has the experience to just channel it back into the crowd.
Well, he was omitted last week at Warrington. He played the under-21s. That's a great dropout.
I think Calderwood's actions, Eddie, I think it demonstrates a sort of mental toughness within and belief within this Wigan outfit, because he said, we've just defended a set on our own line. I'm confident enough just to defuse that problem, and then we'll defend this next set as well.
Well, there's 2 of the set of 6 gone, and it's Hudson who will take it left to Kevin Brown. Further wide it goes to Stephen Wild. It's opened up for Wild. Oh, that's a great try from Stephen Wild. Wigan were just hanging around really for someone to make the tackle, and nobody did. And Stephen Wild, who enjoys being the senior player at Huddersfield, the former Wigan man, of course, reports are that he turned down a move to St Helens and signed a new deal last month because of the enjoyment of being one of the senior professionals at the Galfarm Stadium, has responded to the Giants in the best possible way.
It all came about by the header there by the prop forward Brian Fletcher. They got the scrum, and from that position, pretty weak defence. Could see it was good work. There was a dummy runner on that occasion, but Wild goes through a huge gap. I made the point before the kick-off that the responsibility of looking things out there and orchestrating would come from Kevin Brown in the absence of Brad Drew, and he certainly provided the big fella with that. That was a wonderful run. He knew, soon as he made that break, nothing, even if it had been a brick wall, was going to stop him. That is a great fight back.
Chris Thorman, can he add the extras from the touchline for Huddersfield? Yes, he can. It's level pegging here at the JJB Stadium.
And the thing about Stephen Wild is that his stamina enables him to play in the back row, but his speed allows him to play out wide and strike like that as a centre. When he breaks through the line, he has the pace to convert it, into the points, and that's the reason why Huddersfield was so keen to keep him.
As you can see, the dummy runner coming back on the inside. That's all you need. Look at the hesitation, and then look at the gap. Tremendous stuff. Rugby league at its best. More of the same, please.
6 apiece. They've just gone a little bit quiet at the JJB Stadium, the Wigan supporters, as Huddersfield, in the shape of Keith Mason, run this ball back again. Some 14 metres away from his own line. Ooh, wasn't the best pass. It was very well picked up by Lolisi. That was Robbie Paul. Here is Mason. Oh, Foreman with a glaring error. Frustrated with himself, gets a pat on the back from a teammate. But this is a golden opportunity here for Wigan deep in Huddersfield territory.
Now that surprises me. If you're about 15 metres out from the opposition line, yeah, utilise a dummy forward. But to do something like that under your own sticks, well, ridiculous.
Wigan aren't complaining. Here is Trent Barrett. And Trent Barrett is being taken back and further back towards his own line. Richards waits the dummy half and he gives it then to Phil Bailey. Bailey is clattered to the ground. Hudson was there, Raleigh was there, and that was Keith Mason as well. Leeds ahead 10-0 against Salford, looking grim for them. Here is O'Loughlin off the ground brilliantly and finds Fletcher. And Fletcher is eventually hauled down just about 3 metres short of the line on tackle number 3. This is Shane Millard. Back it comes to Luluai. Luluai then to Barrett. Barrett will stab the kick through, looking for the runner, but that was well picked up by Matt Gardner. His 3rd appearance in a row. Brother, of course, of St Helens wing 80.
Good position as well by Gardner. It was an effective kick. Just had the right weight. Good job, I did read it. Get back very, very straight, but that's a lost ball. That'll be the knock-on. That's good defence. Millard leading the way.
Well, Gardner, who came to the rescue on his own try line a few moments ago, makes the error. And yet again, Huddersfield have some defending to do.
Tight in, lads. Tight in.
Great defence, wasn't it? Millard just spun him around. Pretty difficult to hang on to that.
O'Loughlin tried to brush away from Andy Raleigh. 4 errors from Huddersfield the opening 12.5 minutes. That won't please their coach John Sharp. This is Pat Richards. Good tackle over on that far side by Kevin Brown. Millard finds Luluai. Luluai looks for the runner. It's Palliasina. And Palliasina, he had the hand free. He was looking to offload. There was no second phase. Millard, oh, just went on this lush turf. Told it was very, very plentiful, the grass out there. Here is Luluai. Now it's Barrett. And Barrett gets the ball away to O'Loughlin. Violicki. Violicki then to Colbon. Colbon away from 3, away from 4. Running flatly, and Colbon up off the shoulder of Fletcher. A chance goes begging for Brian Noble's men.
Well, he went across field in Colbon, evaded 3 would-be defenders. The chance was there. That was bombed. Look at the hole that was there. He should have just flown through it.
That looked a touch forward, that short ball. The crowd certainly believed so. Here's Keith Mason again. 25th consecutive appearance for Huddersfield. Is this forward?
Yes.
Just a bit.
Slightly. Well, I mentioned the fact that Huddersfield, remember when Thorman knocked on, going a little bit too fancy. And it's obvious that John Sharp's got the message. I'd say, hey, come on, just card it up into a good position, get the kick away. Though that is not brilliant.
No, it was a kick from his own 40-metre line by Thorman. I think he was attempting a 40-20, but didn't quite have the angle right. And it's a very wide pitch, this, at the JJB Stadium.
Yeah, you've got to credit Pat Richards already, because you couldn't see on the screen, but there's a great urgency. He's off the ball work there to receive the kick on the full.
Well, Leeds 16-0 up against the Salford City Reds. Quarter of an hour gone. Remember, no Rob Burrow, no Brent Webb. Bailey is spun to the ground by Stephen Wild. 6 apiece here for the penalty. Penalty against Huddersfield. Offside.
Now, recently, Wigan have opted to go for... Nothing wrong with the tackle, nothing wrong whatsoever, just messing around. They had got out of the blocks a little bit too quickly, but they've opted not going for the 2 this time, Phil.
No, it's a massive change, isn't it? For the last 10 weeks they went for 2 whenever they can, but well, with Stuart Fielding on the field, fully charged up, probably you give him a few runs to the line here.
Well, that was his first one, just on the pitch. Fielder making a bit of a meal of getting over the grounded player. That ball is lost. Knock on by Wigan. Brian Fletcher not having the happiest nights so far at prop forward, is he?
Well, sometimes mentally you're in a position that's pretty new to you in many ways, notably being in the back three throughout his career.
But Brian Noble made the point yesterday, Steve-O, that Fletcher has actually played prop forward during the course of a game when changes have been made. He says he's no stranger to the position.
Well, the thing is when you send him out with that responsibility to cart it up all the time, it's a little bit more effective, I think, in the back three. Mainly due to the fact that we've seen him over the many years that he has the ability to not only hit the first line but to turn and offload. Usually when you get into a prop position you think just keep hold of it. Can be negative.
Good defence though from Wigan, Hock and O'Loughlin. To be fair to Brian Noble, John Keir, he has had to try something new because it wasn't working the way it was.
No, I think that it's felt that his substitutes perhaps haven't been as effective, and to have Hyam and Fielden, I think there's bound to be an impact. We've already seen the impact Stuart Fielden's made. It'll be very interesting once Mickey Hyam gets out there as well.
That's great defence though from Wigan. There was just no way then that Rod Jensen was going to get rid of that ball.
It amazes me with the rule as it stands now that you can't actually move the man up, which I think they've got the rule right, because it rewards the defence. I think that's a fantastic rule, but it's got to get through to some of these players, especially the wingers. If you're getting anywhere near the touchline, go down quickly. Come back inside.
But that can be negative, can't it, Steve? We'll talk about that another time. But we don't want people diving, staying in field. You want to see them having a go down the sideline.
Not if it keeps hold of possession.
And Wigan have that possession here with Barrett. He tried to go inside Kevin Brown, and Brown did well. Now, Thomas Luluai allows Millard to have another run. Wild was there with Raleigh to bring Shane Millard down. It's Phil Bailey who's the dummy half this time. Going down the short side for Wigan, then straightens it up, tries to go through Hudson and Wild. Wild in the thick of it again.
Keep your eye on for the fullback Richards.
This is Barrett. Barrett gives it to Luluai. Luluai finds Richards. And Huddersfield muscle up again in defence. Millard pushes two out of the way, gets in a dummy half himself. Here's another crossfield kick, looking for Mark Calderwood out there. Oh, Matt Gardner lost it. And there is certainly a problem in the air for Matt Gardner. He's having a nightmare when that ball goes up there.
He went far too early. You could see that when the ball was coming down to him, he was on the downward slide as well. And it just shows you that these coaches in Super League, they spend a lot of time looking at videos. Brian Noble obviously suspects that there is a problem there. And after what we've seen already in 18.5 minutes, I think he's got it spot on, John Keir.
Yeah, he's got it spot on, but it's not only about identifying the problem, then it's executing it. And hasn't Trent Barrett done that so well? He's had two absolutely superb crossfield kicks.
Well, Jensen's looking at Steve Ganson saying, was that not a knock-on? And Chris Thorman had a word with the referee as well. Is that a knock-on? No. Is that a knock-on? No. Play on. It's scrappy, but there's no problems.
It's a big problem for Shane Elford. If anybody ran out of it, it would be a major danger. He's completely unconscious.
Great offload. This is Millard. Millard ball back on the inside to Fletcher. Millard again. Millard. Back it comes to Barrett. Barrett again, another crossfield kick looking for Calderwood. And that's going to be a goal line dropout because this time Matt Gardner dealt with it sufficiently but jumped from the field of play into the in-goal area, and that's why it's a goal line dropout and not a tap restart on the 20.
I know it's pretty loud out there with the fans, but I swear that I heard John Sharp take a big deep breath when Gardner jumped into the air and said, "I'll take it." That will settle his nerves down.
Elford appears to be okay, Phil.
Yeah, that's a positive for Huddersfield. You know, Wigan may be a little concerned. OK, they've forced another goal line dropout, but they've only scored 2 tries from goal line dropouts this season, John, and that's the lowest return of any side in Super League.
Yeah, well, it's obviously an area that they'll need to address, but I'm sure that Brian Noble, Phil, will be very happy that they are continually pressurising the Huddersfield line, and obviously if they keep turning the screw, at some stage there'll be a chink in that defensive armour.
Here's Stuart Fielden. It's a strong run from Fielden, it's rigorous defence.
He got a couple of big hits there from Keith
Mickey
Mason.
Hyam is on, it's the 100th substitute appearance of Mickey Hyam's career. At St Helens and here at Wigan, of course, via the front and back door at Bradford. Fielden again. Nay's never been on the bench for 3 years.
Hold.
He's substitute tonight and trying to make an impact, as is Hyam. He finds Luluai. Luluai short ball to Gareth Hock. Hock grounded by Andy Raleigh.
Huddersfield, come on, you're up again, Ryan.
This now is Stuart Fielden. Stuart Fielden, good run. Willie Olsen had to move away from that tackling position then because the referee told him he was offside. Luluai, wide pass to O'Loughlin, back on the inside and to ground.
They're going for the power play and have not done it. Well, that surprises me.
It's the turnover.
They've always gone at Wigan in this game for the corner. I'm just going to make the point, perhaps, that John Sharp, when it comes to the last tackle, or maybe the fourth tackle, when Wigan have possession, they look threatening. Maybe Chris Nero could swap and go onto the wing and bring Gardner into the centre position, maybe just settle him down a little bit.
Well, they've actually swapped wings. Gardner's now come over to play on the right, and Jensen's gone now to the left.
Well, it's a smart move because it's obvious that Brian Noble had fixed it out.
No, Brian Noble will only tell the players to kick this way instead of the other way, surely. Will he?
Well, he should do.
I think Trent Barnes will be bright enough to have to spot that, Eddie, don't worry.
That's not a bad kick either, just to settle things down. The Giants have been under the cosh. It has been a long time since Huddersfield have been anywhere near into this Wigan half. Is that a good season, Hudson?
He has. It's good to see him back in the game as well, ever present this year. A 7 as a sub. He has been one of Huddersfield's most consistent players this year, and Earl Crabtree comes on, and there's a man who can make some impact off the bench. Was he about 6'8", 6'7"? But offside at the scrum, Huddersfield.
Okay. It's important now that Wigan do something a little bit different, rather than just either swing it around from one wing to the other. Maybe a little bit of a run around, angle run, even a little chip over the top early in the tackle count.
We're going to see John Keir again on Sunday night, but this time in the coaching guise with Wakefield Trinity Wildcats against Harlequins. It's a Sunday night 7 o'clock start on Sky Sports 1. After that, Tony Ray will be live. He'll actually be doing the insert to Sky Sports News this week from Wakefield. Good ball from Luluai. Bailey off the legs. And it's run back into the field of play by Jensen.
Tremendous work. Just couldn't get that pass away, Barrett. But the pass from his half-back partner, Thomas Luluai, was superb.
Eddie, I think there's a try coming. Huddersfield are either going to go the length here or eventually Wigan will break through, because I've never seen greater field position dominance. Wigan have had good ball on the right side of the field, and sooner or later they must penetrate. Or, having said that, the Huddersfield side, Steve, you talk about them moving it inside their own quarter, and they do that quite a bit this season. They score a high number of long-range tries. A lot of quick plays, Eddie. Sometimes it pays off.
I think they're obviously missing as well, Phil, is that Brad Drew is not out there. He's the man that orchestrates everything when it comes to set moves. There's a big problem there for Skandalis. He got a real big hit from Sean O'Loughlin. Nothing wrong with the tackle. It was fair and legal, but it was very hard indeed.
Big kick downfield by Foreman to relieve the pressure, and Huddersfield with injury problems mounting. Bill.
Yes, Daryl Griffin on the sidelines. He has been replaced. He's got a bit of a knock to the ankle. He carried on with it for a while, had a couple of visits from the physio, but he's had to come off. And you saw Skandalis there. Steve mentioned the tackle. In fact, he just slipped into it, lost his footing just at the wrong time, and that's what caused him the problems. It seems as though he's got a cut somewhere on the face.
Great offload there from Gareth Hock to Luluai. Another ex-Wiganer comes on for the Huddersfield Giants, Stuart Jones. There's Hudson and Crabtree, though. Bringing Paul Prescott to ground. Oh, they're allowing Barrett to run with it. That could be fatal. It's a high kick. There's a lot of hang time on that. Foreman's underneath it. The skipper claims it.
You know what, when you consider the amount of defence that Huddersfield have had to do, it's been a remarkable effort from them, John. I mean, almost double the amount of defensive workload, which is twice as tiring as attacking with the ball, and yet they're still 6-6 in this game.
And they get a penalty here, John, that they they would have mortgaged the Gulf Farm Stadium for.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy indeed. They've been under the cosh, there's no doubt about that, for the first 25 minutes. Wigan have had possession, they've had field position, but the Huddersfield defence has been absolutely first class, especially on their own line, and that's the little piggyback. That's a bit of relief that they'll be absolutely delighted with, and they'll look to finish this set well deep in the Wigan half.
It's getting worse for Salford at Headingley. 22-0, Leeds are ahead.
Hold. Go.
Ryan Hudson at dummy half, and it's with Crabtree. Crabtree then to Thorman. Thorman to Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul then finds Shane Elford.
2. Come on, go.
He plays the ball to Paul. Crabtree will drive it forward.
Great defence, had to be as well. Interesting to see there with Crabtree. The first time he got involved, he actually went into the first receiver. Oh, that went backwards. That'll be play on.
And well picked up by Kevin Brown, one-handed. He has to take tackle number 4 from Gareth Hock.
Gareth, stand out.
Ryan Hudson. Robbie Paul.
A little bit more running from dummy half as well from the Giants. They're allowing this Wigan first and second marker not to work.
There's the kick towards Mark Calderwood's wing. Oh, claimed! And a try for Jensen.
He knocked on. He got to it.
Well, he is disputing the call, and Calderwood wants the ball back.
I think he catches it, Jensen, and then loses it. He gets it, and then loses it. Knock on.
Right.
Yep.
Well done. Well done, Steve Ganson.
I'll tell you what, it's a great effort though, that is. That's all you can ask your wingmen to do when you put a high kick up like that, is really go for it and contest the ball. That was a marvellous effort from Rob Jensen.
Darrell Goulding, the try scorer, couldn't get away from Stephen Wild. Here again is Trent Barrett. Had to jink his way up the middle. All square, 26 3/4 minutes on the watch. Fielden for Wigan. Crabtree is around him. Crabtree lifts the legs, drops him to the ground. That's the last one for Wigan, still inside their own half. Luluwai's kick has to be a good one. It isn't. Thorman picks it up for Huddersfield. Will scamper forward.
Eddie, I know we've got a few weeks left in the season, but it's got a playoff-like feel to this game. Both sides very committed, desperate not to concede any points, working upfield. Real high quality. I think it's lifted here, John.
Definitely, and I think some of the collisions in defence as well, they've been absolutely ferocious, and that might be in part accountable for the header count.
It almost is an eliminator for the playoffs, this, isn't it, with Wigan in 9th place.
That was a swinging arm. Silly play.
Harrison Hansen, the man who is picked out by the referee, rightly, for the challenge on John Scandalis.
Well, he's in the wars, isn't he? The substitute Scandalis, but they're going to go for the 2 points.
And I think in a situation like this,
well, I think it is, because it's going to be a very tight game. But I just get the feeling that Wigan, they've had all the possession, but they look a little bit lost. They look devoid of ideas out there, and it's surprising me that the two halfbacks, Barrett and Luluwai, started off exceptionally well in the opening 10 minutes, and then they seem to have faded.
Don't worry, they're not from anything you call.
Well, Chris Thorman here with the opportunity to edge Huddersfield ahead from about 42 metres from the post. And they've yet to appear in the playoffs, of course. Huddersfield, the club that ended bottom of the table every year, 1998 to 2001, 4 successive seasons. This, though, 2007, is their best chance yet. And here's an opportunity for them to take the lead for the first time. But he's missed it, and the ball is still in play. Richards runs it out as far as Robbie Paul. Ball did not go over the dead ball line.
Good positioning, though, Pat Richards. He's probably the tallest player out there.
No, I think Crabtree's a foot or two bigger than him.
Well, he might have with a bobble on his head, but it's a good position to have the fullback there, because he had to reach high for that. Golden opportunity, though, to take that lead.
Very interesting now, though, Steve-O, because Tom Hemingway's just gone out there for Ryan Hudson, and this is a period of the game when Brad Drew would be introduced, when you're getting a little tired and knows there's a massive impact. So interesting to see how Tom Hemingway goes.
And Stephen Wilder just raised the knee there as the ball was being played and has been penalised by Steve Ganson.
Well, in the build-up to this game, we looked at the fact that when either of these sides have been in front at half-time, they have gone on to win the game. The next 10 minutes of this game takes a massive significance, particularly in Wigan's season.
Well, we saw the replay there of Wild. He certainly lifted the knee. Had second thoughts about it, thankfully. But the official got him for the attempted knee. Nothing malicious, but it's not allowed.
Prescott plays the ball to High, and here's Lulawai. This now Harrison Hansen.
He should inject a little bit more spark into it, because that's what they need. And then maybe we'll see the half-backs combine.
Prescott again. Tackle number 4, shouts Steve Ganson. Mickey Hyam. Lulawai looks right and inevitably finds Barrett. Borrowed your tooth, Steve-O, I'm afraid. Sorry.
I'll have them back.
This is Lulawai. Floats the kick to the corner. Another tester. Oh, and this time he floats up and collects it, Matt Gardner. No signs there of the early problems he had on the other wing.
Well, the switch has certainly helped boost his Salford on the scoreboard there, 22-4 at Leeds, but it certainly boosted his confidence. But this Giant side, they play very well as a unit. They share the workload. It may not be all that fancy at times, but it's effective, John Keir.
It really is. They pride themselves on winning the collision, winning the floor, as John Sharp puts it, and they also pride themselves on the speed of the line in the defence, and that's what's kept them in the game. And but I'm also impressed with Wigan's defence. I think it's like for like at the minute.
Coleman's under a bit of pressure, but he got the kick away, but it goes straight down the throat of Pat Richards. He will launch the next Wigan wave of attacks. It's been a funny old year for Huddersfield. They lost the first 9, then they won 7, then they've lost 5. They've now won 3, including last week's 42-22 win against the Catalan Dragons, who of course ended Wigan's Wembley ambitions a couple of weeks ago. If you draw a form line through the Catalan Dragons, it's a bit difficult to say what's going to happen tonight, isn't it?
It's amazing. And Huddersfield, they're fully aware that both Wakefield and the Quins, which is our TV game, of course, on Sunday, a win for either of those, if they lose here tonight, Huddersfield, they'll be out of the 6. So it is important for the Giants to pick up the vital 2 points.
I think one of John Sharp's areas of concern, though, I think that's the 3rd or 4th penalty for offside. And as we said, they pride themselves on the speed of the line, but obviously Mr. Ganson's just feeling that they just are pushing the luck a little.
Well, this is a gift, 2 points really for Pat Richards. He's now got 79 goals after his one successful kick earlier in the piece here. Paul Anderson. Speaking to him in the tunnel before the match, I said the best goal kicker in Super League, 100% record. He said it's amazing. Of all those years in the game, and people just remember you for one thing, and that's the kick off the touchline that he scored for St Helens last year, or the year that he decided to retire.
I think he'd be quite happy for all the fans just to remember that. There's quite a few things that I can remember, but he would like to forget up perhaps. But the point is that psychologically Wigan has taken a bit of a hammer blow there. They've gone to the front.
Mind you, Huddersfield I think will be happy enough it's only 2 points, because you've seen our statistics being flashed up on the screen. They have done a lot of defence in their own half. They have been really pushed back towards their own line. It was about 14-15 minutes not long ago that they've been defending inside their own half.
But they'll be happy too is the fact that Wigan have yet to really make a clean break. Their try came from the kick in the corner from Trent Barrett. So John Sharp will be more than happy with the way they defence. And then, as John Keir has mentioned, Brian Noble, he'll have no qualms about the Wigan defence either.
Liam Colborne played that ball. He's making his 6th appearance tonight after a 2-year absence. That's Paliasina. doing what he does best, tucking the ball under his arm and driving it forward up the middle. This is Lulubai. He nearly slipped the net. He has slipped the net. Got the ball away to Hyam.
Okay, Chris.
Here's Barrett again. Little dab over the top from Trent Barrett. Bounces perfectly, but that was forward. He's lost that.
He held on to it.
Well, that came to the touch judge and the referee's rescue there, because the pass from Barrett wide looked a couple of
Concentrate, mate.
metres forward.
It looked that way, didn't it? You couldn't really put him on a momentum level. He did well there to try to hold on to that, David Violecki. But he just bobbled a little bit. Well, at least that was something different. Trent Barrett thinking all the time. Neat little chip over the top.
There he is, the number 6, with his captain, Sean O'Loughlin, making the tackle on Kevin Brown. And Barrett and O'Loughlin there again, working hard from marker. Here is Earl Crabtree.
Once again, sheer hard work from the Giants forwards.
Robbie Paul, that bounced off her chest and went backwards. It went off Elford. Robbie Paul did well then to retain possession for his team. He was under immense pressure from Harrison Hansen.
That is great defence. Look where they've kept the Giants into when it comes to the final kick, and it's not a good one either.
Here comes Pat Richards again. Vital time in the match here, 4 minutes before half-time. Wigan just ahead, 8-6.
2, have you got a nervous switch with your knee? Go.
And Darryl Goulding plays the ball. Huddersfield working really hard in defence. They have to. Hyam. Short ball. And it's Bailey. He's got a man on his back. He still makes it to the 20-metre line.
Great run by the centre.
Great play the ball to Mickey Hyam.
Oof, what a hit there, Hemingway.
Last one for Wigan. What does Trent Barrett have in the locker here? A crossfield kick. Ball bounces down. It's picked up by Mickey Hyam. And Hyam will score. Now the big question here is whether the Wigan players who went for that little chip by Trent Barrett, if they were all onside. They looked a little bit in front from up here.
It's hard to say.
Well, there's Mickey Hyam. He's the man in front and he's the try scorer.
The one that jumps for it is okay, but is Mickey Hyam...
Well, he was in front of the kicker.
Is he in front? He is in front, but does he give the man that's going for it 10 metres?
He can't do, can he? Because he's less than 10 metres from the try line, and the ball comes down on and around the try line. He has to be within 10 metres.
He's definitely in front on the kick.
Looking at the grounding, it's a try. See, look where Hyam is there. He's only 4 metres away from the ball.
O'Loughlin was onside. He was behind the kicker, so that's okay. I think you're right, Phil. I think this will be a try given to Wigan.
Well,
there's O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin's just going over the line there. Hyam's in front.
He was just in front of Palliasina.
Yeah. And he touches it. I think it's going to be a try.
I can't see how that's a try.
Barrett has run this. Trent Barrett can run.
Yeah, watch Trent Barrett. See if he just gets
onside.
I think he just gets in front of Hyam before Hyam then goes.
He doesn't run forward at all, Trent Barrett.
He's got to go ahead of the ball, hasn't he? Or at least up to the ball.
He kicks the ball, he takes a couple of spaces, and I think that just takes him in front of Mickey Hyam.
I don't think so, but we'll soon wait and see. The man who goes for the football
is side of Trent Barrett there.
Who's Sean O'Loughlin. Now, he was behind the kicker, so he's okay.
No try, is it?
I think they'll give it. I really do.
Well, it's the decision from video referee Ian Smith that matters. And his view is that Trent Barrett ran Mickey Hyam onside. Tries given. Mickey Hyam gets the 4 points, and Wigan at this stage have a 6-point lead to take with them to half-time, and probably more, courtesy of Richard's boot.
Controversial from Ian Smith. No doubt in my mind that Sean O'Loughlin was definitely onside. Now, Hyam, it's very difficult to see whether Hyam was behind Barrett. Either way, fish and chips tomorrow in the newspaper.
And Richards adds the extras, and Huddersfield trail 14-6. Wigan are ahead. Said it was an important part of the game just before half-time, so it is. The fact that Barrett went past Mickey Hyam is all that the video referee was looking for. See, as the kick comes in here, Hyam is the furthermost Wigan player. He's offside there. Barrett just gets in front of him, but only just.
Well, according to Ian Smith, he's got it spot on if that's the case.
Yeah, but only just is enough, Eddie. He could have made it a lot easier if he'd continued running.
I was going to say, why didn't he follow the ball in? Then it would have been all over. There wouldn't have been a problem.
No, if he'd have kicked it and then just continued through it and made it a lot easier decision than that one, because that's a very marginal one. And the benefit of the out, I feel, has gone to the attacking side.
Even I'm looking at that,
I'm not convinced either.
No, I'm not, that he actually got in front of Mickey Hyam. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. 2 video referee decisions have gone Wigan's way.
And 2 kicks has produced the 2 tries for the Warriors. They won't be complaining.
Paliasina running strongly again.
Isn't it great to see this fella?
Look at the amount of possession Wigan have had in the Huddersfield half, and yet they're only 14-6 ahead. Hyam nearly got the arms free. That's Bailey. Another neat little kick from Barrett, brilliantly. Oh, everyone overran it. Huddersfield breathed a massive sigh of relief because Shane Elford's got it for them.
Well, they should have been made aware of it. They were not alert there. We saw earlier that Trent Barrett chip over the top, another little chip, caught them out yet again. Good tactics.
Inside the last half minute of the first half, big hit by O'Loughlin on Kevin Brown. Tom Hemingway. Nice run. Went without the ball though. Here is Luluai. 10 seconds to go and Wigan in possession. Was that stripped by?
It was stripped out by Hyam. Yeah.
Referee's view was it was a loose carry. There's the half-time siren. Well, the referee's allowed Wigan to play on there. Was the ball in? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter now because Barrett has decided that that's enough. I wonder whether the ahead against the Huddersfield Giants, 14 points to 6. Now, 2 years ago, when Huddersfield won in Wigan for only the first time in 43 years, Huddersfield were 20 points to 4 down at half-time. They came out in the second half and won the match, 26 points to 24. And Huddersfield this year, the only time that they have come back from a half-time deficit was at Wakefield. Sorry, John, last month. They were trailing 13-0 at half-time. They came back and won, so it's in them, John.
It certainly is, yes. They played a very good game of rugby league, especially in the first 20 minutes after half-time. But once again, Eddie, I've got to remark the guy who sparked them is the guy who isn't out there tonight. It was Brad Drew, who was absolutely outstanding that night, and that's why there's such a big responsibility on Tom Hemingway's shoulders.
Thorman with the kick. Oops! Bounced off the face. No knock on, says Mr. Ganson, rightly.
Well, it really sprung up, didn't it? Just sprung off, just got on the end of the ball.
He actually
hit the shoulder.
Didn't he? He rubbed the shoulder. It must have been a stinger. The shoulder doesn't actually count, but hand or arm, where does the shoulder start? Where does the arm finish?
Oh, don't get me on that one.
We had the debate not long ago.
Too true. It's important, though, that the Wigan, with quite a convincing lead, they don't need to panic now. Just get into a good position. The kicking game was pretty good, especially from Trent Barrett in that first 40. They'll look for a repeat, though it's Hyam that's gone this time.
Kick bounces kindly for Chris Thorman. He picks up a bit of pace, runs laterally. A good chase by Harrison Hansen. This is Gardner again.
Big responsibility now on the former Wigan player Kevin Brown. He really has to start sort of getting things organised, but they've... Oh, that's a good offload, though.
It is indeed. It's scandalous. Wigan with 14 victories out of the 19 Super League meetings between these two, including 8 of 9 on home soil. Kevin Brown, he's through the gap, and he has support, and this is Stuart Jones. Oh, Stuart Jones losing the ball forward. Nero picked it up, but the ball just went forward off the arm of Stuart Jones. And that was a big opportunity for Huddersfield.
Certainly was. Made the mention that Kevin Brown had to stand up and be counted. He did very, very quickly. You could see trying to offload, sheer panic when all they had to do was get into a good position. Beautiful offload by Kevin Brown, and then soon after that, through the dummy, he's got the step, got the quality of this guy. It was good support, but Jones just couldn't hang on to it.
So here comes David Violicki from Wigan from the base of the scrum. He gets the ball out. Good defence again, though, from Huddersfield on Richards. He's Goulding again, or Colburn rather.
Back up, Tom. Go.
Nicky Hyam and Stuart Fielden. Big hit with Crabtree. Oh, 34-4 leads after 3 minutes of the second half against Salford.
Hold. Go, Jammer.
I'm afraid it looks like curtains for Salford. This is Palliasina.
Hold, mate. Hold.
Nicky Hyam. Good run from Hyam. Good job that Crabtree held on to him. Might have held on a little bit too long, but Ganson allowed them to play on. Great kick from Barrett. Another great kick from Trent Barrett.
He'll be quite happy with that. Didn't necessarily mean to keep the ball in play, just get them into a good position.
Is he the man of steel? John Keir.
He ain't going to be far away, is he? Because he's such an imposing presence, Eddie. And
I know you've got your own thoughts.
I have, but I think he's an exceptional rugby league player, Trent Barrett. He can not only beat you with ball in hand, he's also showing you today how he can beat you by putting boot to ball. And his kicking game today has been immaculate.
A lot of people wouldn't argue, but as Robbie Paul fires Chris Thorman away for the Huddersfield Giants, you have to say, though, that Trent Barrett is at the twilight of his career. He's come over from Australia, and is he the most influential player in the game in this country?
Oh,
that was a golden opportunity again for Huddersfield. They just could not take it in, Lolisi.
Just went behind him, and again, within the space of a couple of minutes, they have panicked and tried to offload the ball. Lolisi can't believe it.
Jamal Lolisi with the pass. It was Jensen with the mistake.
He made a great break, just threw the ball behind him.
But that's what he spoke about half-time. John Sharp will have seen things in the first half that he took heart from. Stephen Wild's clean break, and already in the second half, what were just 5 minutes into it, they broke the Wigan defensive line twice.
And interestingly enough, John Sharp looking and watching this match tonight from ground level. Normally the coaches like to be a little bit higher up in the stand or even behind the posts. But John Sharp watching down on the sideline in the technical area. This is Violicki.
I think that's indicative of the fact that Brad Drew's not out there. He knows that he's a man that calls all the shots. So the coach wants to be as close to his players as possible. Will they do the chip over? Yes.
Well, that's poor. Straight into the arms there of Rod Jensen. Here is Nero.
Good play by the Giants there. Quick play the ball, take that short blind side. Usually can escape with 10, maybe 15 metres forward. Shocking pass.
Did well then, Lolisi, to hang on to that.
Two different strategies, isn't there, all these sides, Eddie?
Ball. It's Gardner. And Gardner has got the makings of it outside. Richards, great defence from Richards. Showed him the touchline and would not allow him past. Looked for a moment as though Matt Gardner had the legs on Pat Richards.
Well, the Giants have gone wide, haven't they, to trouble Wigan. They go wide here. great ball out the back then, Gardner. Well, it's the in and away as a winger. Perhaps not going at full speed, doesn't give him the opportunity, gets outside Richards, but the sideline, well used by the fullback here. Use it to his full advantage, assisted there as he presses the accelerator, but the width with which Huddersfield are trying to strike against Wigan, contrasted by the power that Wigan are attempting to play in the second half. Both Stuart Fielden and Ifeka Paliasina on the field at the moment for Wigan. Wigan want to go down the middle and blow the Giants away, but it's the speed and skill from Huddersfield that is trying to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, he must give great credit to the fact that
he has lost that.
That's a big mistake there by the youngster. I'm just making the point, Eddie, that
young Goulding just loses this here.
Yeah, that Richards did everything right there. A lot of players would have just launched themselves to try to just get Gardner's legs. He waited and waited and cut the angle across. Still nervous times for Brian Noble.
Is history going to repeat itself for Huddersfield today, coming from behind? Oh, it's a great ball from Thorman, and Nero is in.
It looks a bit dodgy.
For 8 minutes. That has been on the way since the start of this second half.
And it's a carbon copy of the try that Wigan conceded at Warrington last week from a scrum. Warrington have shown the way here, and Huddersfield have followed.
Nero with the try, little knock on from Daryl Goulding was spotted by Steve Ganson. And it is Chris Nero, man who is ever present and playing the last 12 in the centres, and he has come up with a huge try.
And there's a knock on from the centre, Daryl Goulding, and from here, basic football, bringing two. Thorman did, and Nero straight away. As we mentioned before, there's been problems, hasn't there? This is about the 4th clean break that the Giants have made since the restart, and it was easy, very easy indeed. Run to the option, and if you both go for the same player, there's going to be a gap, and Nero found it.
4th year in a row that, or the 4th game in a row that Nero has scored on this ground, and Chris Thorman's added the extras, and Huddersfield are back within 2 again. Thought it wasn't over at half-time. And Chris Nero with the try. He got a couple in the victory against Harlequins 2 weeks ago. Tries in the last 4 visits to the JJB Stadium. Wonderful pass from Thorman.
Linked in from the full-back position, set pattern, game on.
You have to speak about marvellous passes, and the ones that catches the spectators' eyes are the really long ones, but I'll tell you, a lot of the money ball passes are those little short ones, just as Chris Thorman so beautifully demonstrated there with a lovely line run from Chris Nero.
Well, they knocked on the door 3 times, and in the end, Wigan opened it for them.
Yeah, even the Man of Steel winner, or candidates, can actually make mistakes. Trent Barrett just caught really wrong-footed in between two attackers, and again for the 2nd week running from a scrum, he got the play wrong, and the Giants are back in it.
Here's Thorman again. Bailey trying to harass him. He gets away from Bailey, can't get away from Violicki and Harrison Hansen. Hudson wants to get on with it quickly, gives it to Robbie Paul. Leeds still well in control of that match at Headingley. Here it's all to play for, literally. Last tackle.
Could have been penalised there. The Huddersfield players stepped off the mark.
Off the knees of Richards and collected on the full by him.
I think the difference we've seen from the Giants since they restarted this second half is that they've been playing the ball very, very quickly, and they've been quick to get it past the first receiver. They're catching this Wigan defence out wide, and that's a big error.
It's an error from young Liam Colbon. 2 youngsters have come up with a couple of blunders at the start of this second half. The first one was costly. Ian could have been pinged for a flop there.
See how he took his eyes off the football. Basic.
Brown back to Stuart Jones. Dumped to the ground. Legs were in the air. Brown, dummy half. Didn't like that. Had a little word with Phil Bailey. Here is Crabtree.
Well, he thought he'd gone above the horizontal, and I think he was pretty spot on.
Hudson gets the ball away to Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown will dab it down the line looking for Rod Jensen. Rocket Rod! And Calderwood does well. Calderwood does really well then.
Again, a great option, though. The Wigan are struggling to get back in to their own danger zone. And this good defence, if they can keep Wigan down in their own 15 metres, it's going to be a very poor kick.
Calderwood. Oh, they have the penalty, Wigan. The straight offside, Huddersfield in the mind of Steve Ganson. That's a relieving penalty for the Warriors.
If they never, they'll take the time on this one.
It says you don't like him.
Well, he's picked out someone that I couldn't see out wide.
I think it was a touch, he was calling out to Robbie Paul, and he's been the one that's been spotted, obviously late in the tackle count. Very disappointing for the Giants, but blessed relief, isn't it, for the Wigan Warriors.
Here comes Stuart Fielden. Stuart Fielden was on his way to the touchline, went to ground quickly. Luluai and Gareth Hawk.
Looked high, got away with it, Skandalis. Didn't like it, Hawk. Just put an elbow into Skandalis' face.
Fletcher. Fletcher going nowhere.
Now, we saw in the first half that it was Thomas Luluai the taking first receiver. Now it's Barrett. Maybe the change in tactics could work.
Richards tackled by Nero. Nero all over the top of him, but the referee called the dominant tackle. It's Barrett again, flicks the pass. Fletcher up the middle. That's the last.
Chip over Barrett. Odds.
Well, they're going that way. Here he is. It's a high kick to the corner. It's another tester for Matt Gardner. Claims it. Was he tackled in the air?
By the way, he did well.
He did.
Since his dodgy start early in the game, he's come up trumps as a fella. Oh, there looks as though it was well offside there. Good take.
Wigan very quickly off the line, wanting to pin Kevin Brown back, and they do. 3 tackles gone here, just 5 metres made forward. Great defensive stint from Wigan.
Oh, it's tremendous effort. They're going as a unit.
And again, lads. Good, Brian.
Got to make sure they don't give away a silly penalty.
Skandalis plays it on the 5th, and Hudson will have a rush forward. Gets the ball away. Oh, that was a mess. That was an absolute mess by Ryan Hudson. I think he missed the call. And what's more, Foreman has dropped on the ball and he's injured his ribs.
From between the rib cartilage. John Sharp will be livid over that.
It was fantastic Wigan defence, though. We have to give them credit for that.
Well, he certainly was, but at that time you've got to think on your feet, and Ryan Hudson didn't. Oh, great hit.
Wigan have got it back, and back to 0 in the tackle count, says Mr. Ganson.
Why on earth did he try to pick it on the half volley? Should have just thrown his body onto it.
Richards will play the ball here to Millard. Millard will bullet the pass to Barrett, and Barrett sees a gap and goes for it. Trent Barrett. How many times has he pulled Wigan out of a hole this year? Penalty, holding down. Will Wigan go for the 2, stretch the lead?
Oh, they've got to. Maybe Lalusi is sort of thinking that...
better 2 than 4.
Yeah. But he really has become a thorn in the... And it's an amazing now thing that Brian Noble has got the message. This is early in the tackle, is good hit. Now, he really should have gone on to the football. John Sharp said, why on earth?
I think he thought it was a knock-on. A knock-on against Wigan.
I don't think so. I think it was an impact and the ball went backwards. But when in a tight situation like that, you just drop on it. You just say, it's our ball, keep calm. Yeah. That's been the problem. We've seen the Giants make so many breaks in the second half. And what have they done? They panic. John Sharp's ball, so he can't lose any more here. So his nostrils are going.
Pat Richards here with the chance to add 2 more points to the Wigan total. It'll still mean, of course, that Huddersfield are well in the hunt. They are 16 points to 12. Huddersfield injury news from Bill.
Well, you picked it out a moment ago that Chris Thorman has taken a bang in the ribs in all probability. In fact, he's just walking off, clutching his ribs now, while that penalty was being lined up and successfully kicked by Pat Richards. There was a big debate on the sidelines whether Thorman could continue. The answer seems to be no. Tom Hemingway swiftly back into the action, and it doesn't look too clever for Thorman, still holding the side.
Well, with no Brad Drew, that's a massive blow for Huddersfield, to lose the skipper and full-back. Robbie Paul will drop back, I think, now.
Yeah, and at a time where the Giants were slowly but surely getting control of this match.
And Thorman's the goal kicker as well, remember. Barrett from the kickoff. Fielden threw a couple, but Crabtree stuck to his guns well there. Millard. Back it goes to Luluai. Here's Gareth Hock. Not really set the world on fire after the Tri-Nations in Australia, New Zealand last year. We all thought he would come back much bigger, much better than he has in 2007. Here he goes again now. Oof, there was a bit of a swinging arm there from Elford, and Hock didn't like it. Ryan Hudson's trying to act as peacemaker. The referee has spotted it.
Well, I don't know what went through the mind, whether I think Hock may have lifted the elbow. That's the only reason why I can think that Elford has reacted in such a manner. Maybe we'll see another replay from a different angle. It's well, certainly something's gone on in there. Either way, the Warriors get another 30 metres downfield from the penalty. Lack of discipline has been a problem now for the Giants. Oh, love it!
Fielden felt that, staggered over the play, the ball. Hock, Luluai, O'Loughlin, inside Brown. Halted though, good defence. The second man was so important then, Stephen Wild. That was Bailey, that was Barrett. This is Millard again. Shane Millard, he has missed the last 5. Luluai, short ball, great pass. Gareth Hock, ball to ground off the knees. Not knocked on.
Offside, I think.
He should be offside. He's given the knock on, though.
Knock on against Huddersfield.
Well, Wigan look for all the world to be scoring here. How the big fella got hold of the pants is anyone's guess.
Where's the knock on?
Well, the knock on, I think, was by Elford.
Yeah.
And
The ball was going back towards his own try line.
Yeah, you know, he's facing his own try line. Ball came off his elbow, and I think the other man actually might have been deemed to be offside anyway.
By the way, it was Wigan to go and get possession.
Should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
Here's Fletcher.
All they need to do now is the Warriors need to just camp down there. This is where Trent Barrett starts taking control.
Here's Barrett now. That was Luluai. That was Hock. Again, scrappy pass from Gareth Hock. Picked up though by the youngster.
You know, the
Liam Colbon.
fight, Eddie, to get into this playoff is unbelievable. It's not the best kick there from Luluai, and he knows it.
Out on the full. Touch and goal. Tap restart on the 20-metre mark for Huddersfield.
We talk about the pressure that we have
beg your pardon.
for the relegation, but you know this battle to get into that top 6 is, I mean, we've got the Harlequins in Wakefield, haven't we? We're Wakefield at home, and that is going to be a great battle, because I'm sure that John Key will be happy if the scoreline stays this way. You only have to win to get into the 6th.
Well, you don't worry about other people's scorelines, Steve. We'll go down the old coach's trade that we all would do as we look after our own, and that's very, very good for Huddersfield there, because it will allow them field position once again. But I think Tommy Luluai, perhaps, there's a penalty. Christian attempt to play the ball, a second effort from the Wigan player. And I think Thomas Luluai just lacked a bit of composure there with the 3rd tackle kick, and I've no doubt Brian Noble will remind him about that in the changing rooms afterwards.
I'm sure.
Here's Huddersfield then.
Well, I don't know about you, but that could just turn the game, because I thought Nero, that really was an Academy Award effort. That's great defence.
Big physical challenge on Keith Mason. This is Brown. He finds Stephen Wild. Wild trying to get away. Brown keeps it alive. It's with Griffin. Griffin still going forward. Those two big men, Mason and Griffin, just on. Hudson, short ball to Brown. Good tackling. Great tackle low down. Barrett inevitably. Hudson, dummy half. Here's Robbie Paul. Big responsibility on his shoulders. Oh, he's lost it. He has lost it, Robbie Paul.
Still plenty of time left in this game, and I cannot believe the way that the Huddersfield side are just completely panicking. Was it helped with the little swinging arm there by the big fella Stuart Field? And either way,
and the physio there just having a little word in the ear of Robbie Paul, having brought the water on for him, and obviously passing a message on from coach John Sharp.
Like, calm it down.
I think it's fair to say that Wigan have lacked fluency in attack today, but the defence has been strong. And I guess having lost the last 3 games, that will be the first thing that you focus on. Brian Noble said, listen, unless we can defend, we don't stand a chance of winning games. Now, they've had the defensive side right. In the final quarter, can they find any real fluency? The kick play has been a big one for them tonight, but some passing plays, men supporting one another, a couple of decoy runners.
A fumble from Gareth Hock again. No way forward for him. When he first arrived, Brian Noble shored the defence up, didn't he? And that was the key to survival.
Oh, and I think in the last 3 games they then went backwards, didn't they? But they've been strong tonight.
They had the ball in hand for a long time. Look, the kick over the top. Robbie Paul, is he going to have to run this out? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Did he have his foot over?
The referee says that's a goal line dropout.
He had his foot over the line when he picked the ball up. Well, a knock on at one end. Surely he has enough common sense to realise that. Or as it's a very close call. Yep, got it absolutely spot on.
The touch judges call that.
Absolutely wonderful call by the touch judge.
Fielden.
Just sheer power now, and then let Barrett take over.
Millard.
It's a simple ploy, but that's what they need.
Fletcher. Good strong run up the middle.
At times, Steve, they've been too reliant, haven't they? It's been too obvious that Barrett's the man they go to, and defences have closed him down. They need other players to threaten the line.
Millard again. Go the other way, finds Gareth Hock, forced back, ball bounces again off Millard, goes backwards, Luluai picks it up.
They'll be happy though just to be camped down there, will the Warriors. They're in control, they've got a 4-point lead, they don't have to panic either.
Millard, back on the inside.
Oh, knock on, surely.
To ground, no, the referee says play on. This is Luluai. I think Huddersfield might have stopped fatally. O'Loughlin will play the ball. No, he won't, because there was a hand in there.
Hemingway it was.
Another 2 points on the way for Wigan. And
that's all they have to do.
Huddersfield, Robbie Paul in particular, leading a bit of a discussion with Steve Ganson.
Well, he was all over him, wasn't he? Hemingway's kept hold of him and then had his legs closed round it. Sean O'Loughlin made a good meal of it. Either way, this is a gift 2 points at the expense of this fella.
Well, this will mean Huddersfield have to score twice
to win the game.
To win, yeah.
Converted try will give them the draw. Well, after a very shaky start in the second half by Wigan, they've composed, got themselves all organised, and they're doing it just right.
The touch judge is on, and he's had a word with the referee, who has called Stuart Fielden to him. And something has obviously gone on. Maybe between Lalisi and Fielden, because there's a bit of a discussion going on. This is what the touch judge maybe has seen. Penalty's already been given, but not
for that incident.
This wasn't a penalty, no.
No.
There have been some complaints, Eddie, of players attempting to tackle Stuart Fielden, lifting his leg. He's been penalised it for in the past. I don't know whether that's the case here, but obviously these two have fallen out.
Well, they have fallen out.
He's ripped my shirt.
Chunnering away. Well, that's been around for a while. There's been finger pointing.
Well, maybe
whatever's happened there is on report.
I couldn't see anything there. He's livid. Is Mr. Fielden?
I don't think there's anything there on the video to go at, but there was something that upset Stuart Fielden, and we couldn't hear because the microphone, maybe the battery has run out in Mr. Ganson's backpack, so we're just fixing that up for him and for us, so as we can be kept in touch.
Yeah,
and of course his communication system with the video referee and the touch judges all hinges on a couple of little batteries he carries round on his top of his backside.
Why are you looking at me?
No, I'm just trying to be technical. I'm just trying to enlighten people as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Not that I've any idea what I was talking about, but still.
Too true.
Richards adds the extras, 18-12.
Technology is not your forte. Either way, Wigan will be quite happy about it, and so too will the man called Bob Burgess, who's his 80th birthday today. And has been a Wigan fan for 76 years. He's seen good and bad and indifferent.
80 years of age.
Wow.
On you, Bob. Deep kick-off from Hemingway. This match is still to be sorted in the last quarter hour, and it's going to be tasty when Fielden charges forward at this Huddersfield defence. It has been since he's been on. First time in 3 years he's come off the bench. Here's Hock again.
I think he's done the world of good. He's got through a lot of hard work.
Almost identical scoring records this year for these two. Wigan 80 tries scored, 72 conceded. Huddersfield 85 tries scored, 74 conceded. Nothing in it really, and there's nothing in this match with 14 to go.
It can still go either way. I must say, you talk about people who worked overtime. Been impressed with Gareth Hock. He's been looking for the football at all times, especially running out wide in the centres on that left position. And again, the last, it's got to be a deep kick. The kick and chase has been good by Wigan tonight too. But that's not good.
Good defence from Wigan again. Fielden, who's on report for something or other, helping out Millard and Luluai there. Can't see there was any foul play involved in all of that. Maybe something said, perhaps? You never know, do you, these days? Microphone wasn't live, so we couldn't hear it. Hudson. 46 points to 8. 11 minutes to go at Headingley. Here. All to play for. That was Griffin. Nice step. Nice little step also from Hemingway. Plays the ball on halfway. That was Mason. This is Robbie Paul. Puts the kick in. That's easy enough though for Richards.
Good solid hard work. That'll be the order of the day, and as I say, apart from that shaky start for 10 or 15 minutes by Wigan, they really have got control of the match.
Palliasina.
Big runs always by this fella. Tracks more than just the one would-be defender. Good work down on the swinging arm from Mason. And Fletcher went underneath it.
Here's Palliasina again.
Oh, it's good solid hard work.
Very controlled set from Wigan, isn't it? Tremendous patience. They don't want to do anything more than one pass. Simple, determined carry.
Barrett wide to Luluai. Luluai out the back door and picked up. Picked up by Elford.
Oh, they were lucky there that Pat Richards got back. Why on earth, with a 6-point lead, would you do something as fancy as that from Luluai when all it needed was a good kick? That's gone backwards.
And they're offside. Wigan, they're offside. It's a penalty to Huddersfield. Let's get down to Bill. News of Chris Thorman, Bill.
He won't be back tonight for the Giants, that's for sure. Dear me. Oh, Kevin Brown kicking himself there. Chris Storman has an abdominal injury, according to the Giants club doctor, and he doesn't know what the length of the injury is or how long he might be out for, but he's certainly not coming back tonight.
Well, that's the injury for Chris Thorman. Luluai contesting the loose ball, and obviously the ball just crushed into.
But what about
Thorman.
this, Eddie?
Well, a short, quick tap, and there's the reaction of the captain to the Kevin Brown mistake. Well, why not just pump the ball into the corner?
Precisely.
That's what pressure does to you, Eddie.
Yes. But he saw something, Kevin Brown, and then he just got ahead of himself. Of course, the Wigan supporters enjoyed that.
He'll
being
see
an ex-Wiganer.
He'll see something else as well in the shape of John Sharp, his coach.
O'Loughlin off to Palliasina. Head guard in one hand, ball in the other. Here's Prescott. Now it's with Barrett. And Barrett changes direction. Takes the tackle from Paul and Raleigh.
One drive and go for the one, surely.
They're underneath the sticks here with Millard. It
Who's
might
back?
be the time.
Is Barrett there?
No. Yes. Barrett with the 1 point. Misses.
Good option. He was on there, and it just showed you that the Giants were out on their feet, because look at that, there's no one getting anywhere near to him. And that's the reason why the Australian is livid. He cannot believe it.
I've never kicked a drop goal in my life, but that
A sitter.
was a sitter.
It certainly was. It was like you might see it in a Premiership game with the open goal, but that certainly was a sitter, and it could have wrapped the game up.
And he was looking for his 5th drop goal of the year then, that, as you say, could easily have wrapped the 2 points up for Wigan. That's well done by Nero, and Jensen comes off the touchline and still going. Nero again. Huddersfield haven't given this up, you know. 9 minutes to go. Kevin Brown. Brown just delaying and delaying, and Wigan delaying, even in the end getting the tackle in, the last one.
Got to be a bomb, surely. Get some height on this.
Robbie Paul knows that. Up it goes. And out wide. Oh, knock on. It's 6 to go. Lolisi. Oh.
Forward.
It was forward.
Well.
Huddersfield are throwing this away.
They have just been gifted another set of 6. They didn't have to go through all this trauma. Well, I cannot believe it that they've tried to offload when the referee quite clearly has been shouting out back to 6, and they've come up with a forward pass. That must be 4 or 5 times that they've done it. Who would want to be a coach?
As you say, John, pressure. It's a shocking word.
Well, they've had enough chances, the Giants, to have won this game.
They'll believe they've thrown it away if they do lose this. Richards plays the ball to Millard. Mind you, Wigan won't be complaining. They began the night 3 points adrift of the Giants, and still with playoff hopes alive. This will breathe life into them. Luluai's gone for a 40-20. Luluai has gone for a 40-20. Robbie Paul cuts it out. Dizzy. The touch judge was very close.
Either way, it was a great chase. Oh! He made a mistake earlier. This game is still open. There's some battered bodies out there. It's been a tough encounter.
It has. Here's Raleigh. Great offload. Jensen. I suppose they have to chance their arm here now, Huddersfield, if they're going to win this match. Hudson. Brown back on the inside. Raleigh again. They have to score one of their trademark long-range tries, but there's not been any sign of that tonight. Great tackle there by Calderwood to bring Skandalis down. Last one still inside their own half. Kick has to be good from Hemingway. Richards positioned himself perfectly. Back he comes.
Steve, you spoke about the fact that Brad Drew isn't playing, and we often see him creating chances, drifting through the opposition defensive line. I think the biggest area in which they've missed Brad Drew tonight is his kicking game, because the difference really between these two teams has been minimal. It's been Wigan's ability primarily to kick the ball more accurately and more dangerously on last plays than the Huddersfield Giants.
Huddersfield trying to get through this set of 6. Where will they get the ball back? This is Fletcher. He offloads to Hyam. Comes back inside to Barrett. Here is Gareth Hock. Huddersfield bring him down. Last tackle here.
Oh, he's knocked on.
He has knocked on. Gareth Hock has knocked on.
Well, he's had a fine second half as this fella. He really has worked his socks off. And again, panic when they don't need it. The pressure of making the top 6 is really counting.
Handling errors though. Huddersfield's total greater than Wigan's. 5.5 minutes to go.
And you've got to look to someone to be a hero for the Giants, and you'd have to say maybe Kevin Brown after making that error from the tap.
Or maybe Robbie Paul, who finds Chris Nero. Good tackle low down on him by Harrison Hansen. Robbie Paul, here's Kevin Brown. Over the top he goes. Was he taken out? Decision for the referee, no. Play on.
Did he try to milk it? That's a big point. Could he have got around it? Nope. He tried to milk it. That's good refereeing from Ganson. Tried to milk the penalty. The official having none of it.
Calderwood trying to take on Hemingway for strength. Good, solid work from the winger.
And that's what you need late in the game. It's been a tough game for the forward, so take a bit of responsibility, give them a little bit of a rest.
Hyam will hang on to that ball 40 metres away from the line on tackle number 4. Trent Barrett is there.
One more drive and then go for the one.
Here's Harrison Hansen. So they won't get the one now.
Pretty wide out. They'll probably opt for the bomb.
It's Barrett. He's the go-to man. Oof! Well, he was under pressure then. The touch judge is on. The question is, was Stephen Wild committed to the challenge? But the touch judge, I think, believes otherwise.
He'll take assistance. Was that a push, or it's hard to say? It came very ferocious. Can't see from that angle either.
Steve Ganson produced the red card last week at Bradford for Joe Vangenaar. What will his decision be here? I think that Stephen Wild, to be fair to him, was committed to the charge down.
It's nothing.
It's a poor technique for a charge down, though. You don't lead with your leg for a charge down.
His shoulder makes contact, but I'm with you, John, that there was a raised leg. This will be a penalty.
And this will wrap it up. Referee stopped the clock, of course. And he'll have a word with the touch judge. He was just checking that Barrett was okay.
He has to go to the sin bin at the very least, Eddie. That's what the rule states.
Just touched the back pocket. It's not going to be red, is it?
Well, it didn't deserve to be red, to be fair.
Yellow.
Yeah. It was late, but it was the shoulder impact. It wasn't as though that he lifted the elbow into the face or anything of that nature. And there's a frustrated coach in John Sharp, mainly due to the fact that I'm with John Keir. The Giants have had so many opportunities to wrap this game up.
And Wigan are presented with one because the kicker was fouled, and it's where the ball lands that the penalty is awarded. And so Richards has the chance to seal this win, but Barrett is okay, and as Wild came past him, they shook hands, which was good to see.
It was just late.
But I think he was committed to the charge down, but I think John's right, it was poor technique, wasn't it?
Well, he was already in the air, wasn't he, before Barrett had kicked the ball. That actually would go in his favour.
It will, yes. I don't think it was much of it was poor technique, and you rightly said it did take him out, so he had to be sin-binned. That's the directive from the central governing body.
So Richards, who's been faultless with the boot tonight, and this will probably wrap it up for Wigan. He has made it 6 from 6, Pat Richards. 20 points to 12. Stephen Wild in the bin, and John Keir knows if Wakefield beat Quins on Sunday, they will replace Huddersfield in the 6.
I'm sure Brian McDermott knows as well, Eddie.
Yes, but he's not here.
This is the incident again. Nothing illegal other than the fact the officials have deemed that he came in late.
And with the knees raised.
Yeah, sin bin is sufficient.
All over at Headingley, 52-14.
And it's all over here. And the JJB, I can assure you of that. Anything short of a miracle, perhaps, but Wigan, who have toughed it out. They were very lacklustre in their defensive quality early in the start of this second half.
Well, Huddersfield had 3 glorious opportunities, didn't they?
Probably more, Eddie. The way that they have panicked under pressure. I posed the question that this was a time for Huddersfield to convince themselves that they can be a threat when it came down to the playoffs.
I think with Drew and Thornton on the field for 80 minutes, they can be, you know.
Well, they could be, but there could be times when they're not going to have them anyway. You've got to be able to step up to the plate. And I'm afraid the way that they've panicked, it happened with Hull for many years, remember?
Here's Jensen. Jensen was not tackled, he's allowed to play on. Wigan offering him just the middle channel, though. Here's Robbie Paul, it's Kevin Brown, Nero, the 12 men of Huddersfield against the 13 of Wigan. Wigan will be breathing down their necks.
Key factor, Brian Noble.
Ball is loose, in fact it's a knock on.
Brian Noble will look at the defensive qualities, sheer frustration on the face of John Skandalis. But deep down they know there's this giant outfit that they have thrown away the opportunities. He won't mind.
The pursuit goes on.
He's got the train back on the track.
Yes, the pursuit of the top 6 finish continues.
It's going to be fascinating, isn't it? Only 4 games remaining after tonight for these two sides. Still wide open.
Good strong run up the middle. Hyam. It's O'Loughlin. Luluai spins away. Flicks the short pass. Barrett. Trent Barrett still.
Ooh. He got one right in the mush there.
And that's another high tackle.
They'll take the 2. It's all over.
Lolisi is the man who's down.
It was Riley that I think threw the right arm, forearm, right into the face. Barrett looks up and says, boy, surely I get a penalty for that, and he has. Well, sheer frustration in the players' minds in the Huddersfield colours tonight. But I wouldn't go anywhere near a man called John Sharp, because he'll be furious, and he's every right to be furious.
Here come Wigan with the last hurrah here in the final 30 seconds of the match. 11 penalties Wigan have had. Huddersfield have had 5. And Harrison Hansen can't get through. This is Bailey. Here is Hyam. And Hyam comes up the middle, but 3 come back to pull him down. There's a push and a shove between Brown and Hyam. It's going to be back to 6.
Yep.
Not that it matters. Referee will now wipe it down.
That'll do us.
There's the final siren, it's all over. And Wigan have won a fairly torrid encounter. It hasn't been that pretty, to be fair. It's not been filled with fast, open, flowing Super League, but it has been filled with gritty, determined defence from both sides. And Wigan, I suppose, will take more out of the match than Huddersfield by virtue of the fact that they've won it by 8 points, and they are now knocking on the door of the 6. Let's get